So welcome to Brussels. Malheureusement, je ne parle pas français, je parle anglais. Et je suis un petit malade, so I hope you can nevertheless hear me. Thank you for coming to Brussels and reminding us here in the European Parliament, but also the people in Brussels, about the situation of human rights in Iran. Here in Brussels, of course, the nuclear deal with Iran was a significant step, not only for global security, but also for Iran's foreign relations. And it is very much in the debates inside the parliament on foreign relations when we see the situation in Iraq and in Syria. And while we see that Iran has returned to the spotlight of global diplomatic affairs, it is important not to forget about the internal situation in Iran, in particular the very widespread and severe violations of human rights. So thank you again for coming, because if there is not very outspoken cruelty, very rarely the human rights situation in a country like yours in Iran is on the agenda, also in our parliament. In Iran, fundamental rights such as the freedom of expression, association and assembly remain severely restricted. Iran needs fundamental reforms to ensure the respect of the rule of law and to start accepting critical voices. A first step in this direction would be to release all political prisoners and prisoners of conscience, including the human rights defenders, political prisoners and trade unionists. And this includes, of course, also the Kurdish activists. The European Parliament is known to stand up for human rights across the world. For example, in the past, in October 2013, we awarded the Sakharov Prize to Nasrin Sotoudeh, which is a very most prestigious human rights reward for the freedom of thought. And what happened? Of course, she's no longer in prison, but in her case we clearly see that even after she received the prize, Nasrin Sotoudeh continued to face repression and restriction as a human rights lawyer. So I think all of those who continue to work back home in Iran, they are very brave. Okay. And we have also to follow what happens to them after they are released from prison. Many people in Iran remain detained due to their opposition to the government. For all these political prisoners who should be immediately released, I would like to draw the attention to only one case as an example. On 5th of May this year, the human rights activist Narges Mohammadi was arrested on charges stemming from her human rights activities. These human rights protection activities involve peaceful activists such as the support of families of death row prisoners. Moreover, she will be put on trial despite her worsening medical situation. According to her husband, even the prison infirmary's doctor has stressed the need to hospitalize her, but the judiciary has so far refused to do so. The case of Narges Mohammadi stands for the unfair Iranian judicial system and shows to me that these processes can no longer be accepted. And then another major concern in Iran, and this was a debate in our human rights session in the last week, is the high number of death sentences and executions. According to international human rights organizations, there have been more than 700 executions alone this year, 2015. This constitutes an increase of over 40% compared to the first half of 2014. A large number of the executed people were sentenced for non-lethal offenses such as adultery or drug abuses. Moreover, individuals are persecuted on account of their actual or perceived sexual orientation. Further, these capital punishments continue to be. I hereby reiterate my call on the Iranian authorities to finally declare a moratorium on the death penalty. There are also serious concerns about the treatment of prisoners, including deprivation of medical attention and medication. One of the latest instances in this regard is the death of Mr. Shakrok Samani, a labor activist, and I think I saw his poster, which you have with you, who died in the Raji Shar prison on 13th of September. And there are, of course, so many other political prisoners, and I cannot give all the names. I also only underline that we also will forget all the Kurdish political activists and prisoners of conscience. So in ending, I finally reiterate my call on the Iranian authorities to introduce reforms to ensure the respect of the rule of law and to take action and to essentially improve its human rights records. And I think we here in the human rights community in the European Parliament, we should do more and continuing more to look into the inside situation in Iran, because as I said at the beginning, there is a great need to involve the Iranian government in finding political solutions in the neighboring conflicts like Syria and Iraq, but by no way should be this a deal that we forget to address the severe human rights violations. So thank you for inviting me, and again thank you for organizing this manifestation to remind us all. Merci beaucoup.